Morning, YouTube. Stevie here. It is, what is it even today? I don't even know what today. Friday the 26th. Ooh, Friday the 26th. Sitting here in the corn line a little bit earlier today than normally, which I don't know if it's going to do me any good. About a quarter after 6. And I'm a little further back in the line, so to be honest, I think it may... We'll see. I got out of here the last couple days right about 8 o'clock. And that was getting here. What time did I leave? 5:30. 5:30, 6 o'clock. Yeah, it might not pay to come over here at this time. Because I'm pretty far back in the line. I mean, they haven't even opened yet. They don't open till 7:30. So once they do, I mean, we'll start rolling right along here. But the problem is, 4 hours yesterday to get unloaded at G4. Terrible. And what's worse for some folks is if you're not checked in at the kiosk at 4 o'clock, they won't unload you. There's 6 trucks between the kiosk and the dump. There's 2 dump lanes and there's 2 rows. So there's 2 rows of 3 before you dump, between the kiosk where you check in and the scale and the pit. And when I left, it was after 2, or right at 2. I got there at 10 after 10 and left about quarter after 2, which I didn't have a lot of time to go pick up my load of corn that I got on now. I mean, I had a little bit of time, but not very much. I don't like to go into those places where I pick up my corn at. They close at 4. Now they load this corn in they load it from an overhead, so it only takes about 5 minutes to load this thing. When I left at 2, there was trucks all the way back out on the street. There was probably 40, 50 trucks. I'll try to count today how far that line is when you get back all the way to the thing. But there was probably that many. So I don't know what those guys were going to do, because there was no way in this lifetime or the next they were going to make it up to the kiosk in time. And they do that because that's otherwise those guys that work there, heck, they'd work a 15-hour day. By the time they got everybody, if they had a rule where if you're in the parking lot by this time, we'll unload you. Oh, heck, it'd be a disaster zone for those guys. They'd never get out of there. Now, part of the problem is the product wasn't coming out very good yesterday. Even one of mine didn't want to come out. One of my hoppers didn't want to come out very good. And I've never had trouble with South Bend ethanol or, distillers not coming out. But I did yesterday. Now, I did take 25 ton yesterday, so I don't know if that little bit more in there was enough to muck it up or what, but we'll do it. We're going to try 25 again today, and if it don't work any better, we'll go back 24, because I don't like to fool around with this thing not unloading. Hopefully, Prairie opens next week, taking South Bend ethanol, and distiller grain, I mean. And I can go over there, because I never have to wait over there. Maybe for a truck or 2, but that's been it. So hopefully that's what we can do, because that is crazy. I like to come to South Bend, but yeah, that is a disaster zone. They do have a cool thing though over there though at G4. It's like this big air gun kind of a deal, where it's like a probe would be. Big finger that usually sucks up grain. It pokes down into the grain and pulls up a sample from in the middle of it. Well, this thing got a big air thing on it, and it blasts air, and knocks that distiller grain loose. When he had to do that to my back hopper, that load I got Monday out of Marion, they had to do that to both halves. That didn't come out at all. I don't know if because it bounced a little further or what. I'm not sure, but yes, it was crazy yesterday. Oh, anyway, I'm trying to figure out a way to run this a little bit better. Maybe get away from the DDGs a little bit and stick to regular just corn and beans. Then I don't have that trouble. And I've been wanting to expand this operation a little bit in terms of either doing some custom storage possibly, or actually buy the grain and market it myself. I haven't quite got that figured out how to do that. I may have to get a grain buyer's license to do that. Which isn't a federal case, just have to have a bond. And then I wouldn't get paid for the trucking, but I'd get paid for the spread on the product. And so like a co-op, there's the Board of Trade price that you hear on the radio. Like if they say the corn price is like yesterday, overnight, this morning, because they trade that overnight as well. Like 405, let's say, a bushel. Well, then they have what's called the basis. And the basis is what the elevator or the ethanol plant takes off of it, off the board price, to stay. That's their profit margin. That's the basis. So right now the basis here at this ethanol plant is 4 or 5 cents, something like that. But the co-ops are like 25 cents. And in the fall, the basis, it looks like it's going to be like 40 or 45 cents. That's crazy big. So you won't see a lot of guys selling corn then. So I think where the angle I might be able to do is if I can find some storage and get some storage rented cheap. Right now, storage is $0.05 a bushel a month is what the co-ops are charging for storage. Roughly, give or take a smidge. And 10 cents to 10 cents to drop it, and 5 cents a month after that. And they do that because guys, if they don't have storage for it, they'll bring it in, store it at the co-op, and then sell it when the basis is cheaper. They don't have to pay that basis until they sell it. Now, if the elevators or things need the corn, then you'll have what's called a positive basis. Now, the elevators don't normally pay a positive basis, but like ethanol plants and things like that, they'll pay a positive basis, which means that they're paying over the Board of Trade price. But so, and then ideally what the co-op does is they buy the corn at, let's just say, $4 a bushel, take a 25-cent basis, and then forward contract it for later in the year or into next year for, let's say, $4.25 a bushel, and then they've got a 50-cent spread on the corn. Now, granted, they've got to borrow money to buy it and things like that. And then farmers do the same thing. They won't sell corn in the fall. They'll contract it for later in the year. But anyway, well, we're already at 9:30 already. Anyway, there's a lot of different ways to do this hopper. I think it's going to be a little interesting to see how we sort through all this. But anyway, hopefully everybody has a good day. If I don't check in later on today, hope we have a good weekend. It's Friday. Get out and do something. Don't sit in front of that stupid YouTube all day long. All weekend long. Go out and enjoy God's creation. So God bless. We'll talk soon.